Hello, hello, hello. That is not your imagination. You are looking at a blank screen. Let me try this. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex. Welcome, one and all. Okay, I'll just go to the next one. I usually like to have a thumbnail up there, but it did not take for some reason. Where is my thumbnail? Huh. Maybe I didn't do it. All right. Oh, I know what I did. Excuse me. No worries. I will just leave Prince Harry up there. I like this photo anyway. I like the kind of purple fuchsia color and everything. Oh, blue. Very cool. Dansby, thank you so much for being the first one here. And hello to Mary H., Teresa McDougall, and Maurice Brown, and who else? Hazel Jones, Lorna Williams, Sharon Augustine, Sharon Young, Fancy, Beverly Pottinger, Antonio TC, and Antonio. Oh my goodness. Let me see. You became a new member. Thank you so much for that. And thank you so much for being here tonight. Greatly appreciated. A new member to Royal Sussex. Very, very cool. Thank you very much. Hello, Lydia Washington. And who else? I don't know what's up with my voice lately. All that singing, I guess. Okay. Nothing that the acid in that coffee can't wash down. Like that'll make it better, right? Hello, Lorna Williams. Okay, I should just scroll and get on down to the last one. Did I see BS Speaks Royally? Amelia Rodriguez, you're the last one in here tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. Let me just go to the next slide, shall we? Oh, well, I'll just leave it here for a second. I posted 3 videos this morning, 3 back-to-back videos. If you haven't had a chance to see them, please make sure you do. One is just as interesting as the next, if I should say so myself. I think I just did. So please make sure you check them out. Put a lot of hard work into those videos. And after all, we don't want another one of those food truck situations, do we? There's one about Prince Harry returning to the United Kingdom. You'll love that because there's that speech where Prince Harry kind of broke down a bit when he was speaking about becoming a new father. And there's this very emotional exchange where Prince Harry speaks to one of the, I forgot how they addressed her, but a princess, no, a Diana nurse or something like that. But I think it was someone who's nursing something to do with maybe one of Diana's foundations or something. And anyway, she spoke about how some of the money that Diana left to that organization, how helpful it was. And then there's Audrey McDonald. There is her defending the Duchess of Sussex publicly the first time, and then the more recent time when she was asked a question, who does she most admire? Followed by Suits Obsession. Is a really cool article from the Daily Beast that is used as a source for that particular video. So make sure you check those out. There are 3 of them. So if you're multitasking or got something to do and you need a little company, please always go to the videos. And that way you can just leave it on in the background. And of course, I don't get that weird feeling in my stomach when I see that there's only 4,000 views for the 520,000 hours of editing. Otherwise, I am going to go on and 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 on. What are you talking about, Church Nelly? Let me see. What the hell is up with all these late podcasts? I've got to get up at 4:30 a.m. I thought you didn't get in till 4:30 a.m. I don't know, Church Nelly. It just happens. You know, I like to think of myself as an artist, and I tend to function better at night. Although it doesn't help when I got stuff to do during the daytime. So every day I say, ooh, I certainly ain't going to go on late today. And next thing you know, the whole day is gone. Why is time going by so fast? Oh, I know. I'm getting older. But okay, Church, now let's see what we can do about that. Yeah, my whole schedule was thrown off, and I don't like it either if it makes you feel better. Let me see. Plus, Church Nelly got to get up early so she can yell at the kids to get off the grass. Okay, and I'm scrolling. All right, next one. Check it out. Suits, just, it's like the gift that won't stop giving. Suits has become the second most streamed series ever recorded by Nielsen, considering viewership totals over 6 consecutive weeks, exceeding the number of minutes that even that show Wednesday was watched in the first 6 weeks of availability. It has outdone Wednesday, and that was just like the hottest thing. So it just gets better and better. Like right here, Nielsen stream top 10 Suits beats Wednesday, achieving the second highest 6-week viewership total ever. And then it says there, it's another week, another record for Suits on the Nielsen streaming top 10. The USA Network drama has become the second most streamed series ever recorded by Nielsen when considering viewership totals over 6 consecutive weeks. More simply put, Wednesday was watched just under 20.3 billion minutes in the first 6 weeks of availability when it premiered last fall, and Suits has now exceeded that with over 20.3 billion minutes between, exceeding those totals with 27.8 billion minutes watched over 6 weeks when season 4 debuted last summer. So when comparing these totals, it should be noted that Nielsen combines viewership of all seasons of a series into measurement. Therefore, Wednesday's 8 episodes, all under an hour, put the series at a disadvantage to Suits. 136 42-minute episodes, and Stranger Things 34 episodes that runs between 42 minutes and 2 hours long. Suits was watched for 3.5 billion minutes during the July 24th through 30th viewing periods. Let me just stop right there. A win is a win, okay? I don't care about all that other stuff. Let's not get into that who shot John. A win is a win, and we're just going to take that, okay? A win is a win. That's just the way it is. So if you take a look there, another week, another record for Suits. Wait a minute. Where am I? Oh, okay. I did that twice, didn't I? Oh, well, anyway, if you look down there at the bottom, you can see where it ranks. Let me see. Streaming program viewing totals in 6 consecutive measurement weeks. So Stranger Things is still number 1, but Suits is number 2. Wednesday is lagging behind by such a small points behind. And then, of course, there's Ozark, which I've never even heard of. I don't know what that is. But yeah, so there you go. A win is a win. And of course, one of the videos I posted last night, which is called Suits Obsession, you can hear the person who penned the story mention how they thought it was going to be another one of those dramedies, drama and comedy at the same time. And somehow they have become incredibly hooked to the show. So if that's any indication to its popularity, then that explains a lot. So check it out. And then, of course, there's the curious case of Joe Rogan. Well, and by the way, you guys, I'm going to try to get us out of here in an hour. So I'm not going to look at so many of your comments, if you don't mind, because Church Nelly got to get up at 4:30. And plus, after doing all that editing, I don't want to stay on for so long. I need to rest up for the coming weeks with, the Invictus game. So Joe Rogan was the number 1 podcaster and still is, as far as I know. But there was something that interrupted his reign as the king of podcasts. And that, of course, was the queen of podcasts. Now, we talked about this yesterday, and so I'm only going to touch on it a bit because yesterday I didn't have my receipts prepared for how Meghan's show performed in comparison. Well, not really a comparison, but just basically some of the headlines and some of the hype that was involved with the period that Archetypes was number 1. So there you see Meghan Markle's new podcast beats Joe Rogan in Spotify ranking. Duchess of Sussex new podcast Archetypes unseated the Joe Rogan Experience to take the number 1 position. And then, of course, Meghan Markle's podcast just beat Joe Rogan in the Spotify charts. Meghan Markle's Archetype podcast unseats Joe Rogan for top spot on Spotify. And then the last one here, Yahoo says, Meghan Markle dethrones Joe Rogan, the number 1 spot on the U.S. Spotify podcast charts 2 days after Archetypes debut. 2 days? I don't remember that. 2 days? It took 2 days to knock Joe Rogan out of the number 1 position? Well, as I live and breathe. Or as Robert Jobson would say, as I live and gasp. As I live and grunt. Yeah, so there you go. Now, and then, of course, this I did mention, but it's better when you have something visual. Did I not say yesterday that the Archetypes was number one in most of the English speaking world. Well, there you have the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, and Australia. Now, to be fair, the largest English speaking population in the world, in case you didn't know this, is India. There are more people that speak English in India than any place else. So um, there you go. So if Archetypes would have like taken India, I don't remember what the ranking was in India, but if it would have taken India, that would have been like even more epic than it already is. So there you go. All right, and I am going to go on to this one right here. So the king and queen will undertake a state visit to France, visiting Paris and Bordeaux from Wednesday the 20th until Friday the 22nd of September 2023. And of course, the visit will celebrate the shared history, culture, and values of the United Kingdom and France. Well, one of the things we could share is the fact that just about half of the words we use every day in English are actually French words. There's so many of us that speak a little French and don't even know it. So the state visit will mark His Majesty's 35th official visit to France and Her Majesty's 9th visit. Further details on state visit program will be confirmed in due course. Whatever. So, yes, no mention of Versailles, because remember, we thought that the old and golden girl was going to go to Versailles so she can reenact some of those moments of Marie Antoinette's life. I would love to see her stomping around those big hooves up and down those parquet floors with their herringbone pattern under those big blue-footed booby feet of hers. I would love to see that. I would love to see the sound of cattle rustling through through the hall of mirrors, only for people to turn and realize it's the queen consort. That I would love to see. But until then, we'll just have to use our collective imaginations. All the powder in the wigs, all of the spackle on the face, all of that kind of stuff. We'll just have to use our imagination. And of course, imagine the gardener saying, "Hey, who keeps eating the flowers? I put out flowers for Macron's visit, and someone is eating the daisies and the roses and the lilies. Who's eating the flowers?" Okay, that's tacky. That's pretty bad. That is the queen, and she deserves all the respect that some of her subjects can give her. Not me. Okay. And so right here, this is from last time. King Charles' visit to France postponed amid protests. Emmanuel Macron says it would not have been a serious or good sense for next week's visit to go ahead. Well, as you know, all HE double hockey stick was breaking out in France at the time. And of course, somebody's grumpy when they stay up a little later, aren't they? Um, Plus, I don't know if those things work on rawhide. You know what I'm saying? Rawhide is just a little too tough, and some people's flesh is the consistency of rawhide. So I'm not sure if that would be effective, but there's always a first, right? Well, anyway, if you could remember, they went to Germany, and she wore that very curious gown by what was his name? Oldfeld. I forget his first name, but anyway, she wore that rather curious gown, and every time I look at the pattern, I'm just like, it seems like it's moving. You know what I'm saying? Like if you stare at it long enough, it seems like it's moving. We know she's not moving because she's lazier than Kate Middleton. Now, they had a contingency plan just in case there was like some kind of storming of the Elysee um, palace. They actually had a contingency plan to get them out of there. They were going to go disguised as some of the sanitation workers. The only thing that really interrupts the disguise is the fact that for two people who never really had a job in the first place, it's kind of hard to fool some of the people some of the time. And you certainly are not going to fool everybody all the time. So this would make it a bit awkward for them only because they're not accustomed to working, you know. So, and of course, one of them is not really used to working vertically. So, horizontally, I got you, but vertically, it's just so unusual. You understand? If you know, you know. All right. So there he is, Bruce Oldfield. The Queen Consort has picked Princess Diana's favorite fashion designer to make her coronation gown. Bruce Oldfield, 72, is working in secret for the 75-year-old Camilla after they became firm friends. That's an interesting word, firm friends. But anyway, a chance meeting with Princess Diana led to a 10-year friendship. He, her as, wait a minute, is that a typo? The perfect client. He said he saw her as a perfect client, I think. And he said, when I look back, it was relentless for her. We did dress her up like she was going to a wedding every day. He was awarded an OBE in 1990 and has been something else. I think it cuts off there, but that's Bruce Oldfield. Now, there you can see on the left side, I hate that they did this, but one of the tabloids merged their photos together as if they ever stood in the same place at the same time. Um, all dressed up like that. And that was just the height of ignorance to do something like that. And you can see on the right side, there is, if you've never seen this photo before, there is Diana walking with that Charles person at the St. Paul's Cathedral. And then you can see that woman wearing white to another woman's wedding. Where have I seen that before? Anyway, that is Camilla. And as you can see, both Charles and Diana are looking that way for whatever curious reason. But um, very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Remember, that is a very naive, very sheltered 19-year-old girl that only just turned 19 years old. And there is a vet. I mean, a vet, y'all, a veteran in the red circle right there. As a matter of fact, I always call her on Veterans Day for other reasons. I always call her on Veterans Day. Yeah. Um, and I'm not the only one. There's quite a few people that realize her service to the community. And anyway, uh, happy Veterans Day. Let's see here. Now, as you can see over there on the left side, I decided to correct that photo. I figure if they want to alter the photo, then so shall I. So I took my own license with that photo and turned it into something more typical of Camilla. Now it is a silky chicken. So there is the before and there's the after. Uh, this one's for you, Diana. Anyway, so there's the silky chicken. And as you can see, the effect of seeing Bruce Oldfield's work on Camilla compared to tall, statuesque, uh, physically fit Diana compared to her, it's like day and night. It's really like day and night. Uh, Matron mattress? Uh, are you calling someone a human mattress? It seems like someone's being called a human mattress. Okay, that sounds about right. And thank you so much, Charlotte. Long time no hear. All right, thank you very much. That is our theme for Charlotte Speaks. So whenever you hear that, you know Charlotte is with us. Bona, let me see, Bona Sera. No, 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 that's Italian and bonsoir. Yes, bonsoir. Oh, there we go. Lex says, "Is that chicken picking up food? Why is it hunched?" Oh, that chicken has been looking like it's about to pick up something for years. It's been like that for years. You know, those chickens have those hollow bones. They have those avian bone thing disorder or whatever. So those hollow bones are light and yet very rigid. So I can't believe we're having this conversation. But thank you so much for the super chat. All right. And now I kept thinking about it and I said to myself, that's it, barbed wire. Who wears something like that on a state visit? She's literally wearing the pattern of barbed wire. Is that like some kind of like kinky thing between the two of them or what? But that's what it is. It's barbed wire. Maybe that's I don't know. I don't have an explanation for it. But I thought about it and I finally figured out what I was looking at. And there are several types of I guess weave for barbed wire, but whatever it is, it seems like that dress encompasses every possible design. So maybe Bruce Oldfield still has a certain amount of affection that is for Princess Diana, and decided to play a little bit of a joke on her. But whatever the case is, that is how she went to Germany. I hope the Germans were not offended by that. Sussex Files, very cute. Oh, thank you very much. And thank you for being here tonight. And as always, thank you for watching Royal Sussex. All right. Meeting of flying. Well, look at that crown. Well, it's not a crown, that's a tiara. The Queen chose that tiara herself, Queen Elizabeth II, the only queen that I've ever known of the United Kingdom. That imposter right there, I'm not even counting her. But Queen Elizabeth II chose that one. And I can't help but think because of that honeycomb pattern, maybe the Queen was trying to say something, you know, bees, honeycombs. Yeah, so I'm not sure where the Queen was. I'm not sure what the Queen was trying to say. Maybe that type of humor is well above my pay grade. But when the Queen gives somebody a honeycomb pattern like that, well, one could only imagine what she was trying to say to her. But I think she's picking up what she was putting down. So there you go. All right. And now there is Andrew, the sick old man. Now, today we found out that someone found themselves in a spot of bother because of Andrew. Andrew is a jinx. He's bad luck. And not only that, he does not know the meaning of Rembrandt toothpaste, but he's bad luck. He's a jinx. So Andrew, the sick old man, let me explain. Andy's guard bid. Prince Andrew launches shock bid to win back £3 million a year arms securities after Pratit Patel backs his demand. So, is she a dame now? Dame Pratit Patel, whatever it is. Pratit. That's so weird to say that. Pratit Patel. There it is. That is easy. Pratit Patel. Um, Pratit Patel. Okay. Anyway, that lady, who was the home secretary, I think, she was actually trying to help him out for whatever reason. I don't understand why she bothered, but some people say it was just under the guise of full public accountability. Let me explain further. Well, right here, you can see, let me see that one. That one's up a little bit too high, too high. Okay, there it is. But the Sun can today reveal that the royal outcast is fighting back despite being banished from frontline duties and has won the backing of the former Home Secretary, Pratit Patel. She has emailed King Charles' top aide suggesting a review of the Duke's protection could be something to consider. Ms. Patel also referred to the ditching of Prince Harry's security detail. And that's interesting that they would throw Prince Harry's name in there, but then again, don't they do that all the time? But Charles' private secretary, Sir Clive Alderton, has no power over royal security arrangements, and Ms. Patel was forced to apologize to the king when her approach was leaked yesterday. Now, if the former Home Secretary sends a confidential email to a member of staff for the sovereign and it's leaked to a newspaper, that is strange. That is really strange. Okay, so the royal expert Ingrid Seward said, that Ingrid said last night, the king will be deeply embarrassed by this. The issue is so controversial, he won't go anywhere near it. All right, so Clive can't do anything about it, right? And Charles says it's so controversial, he can't do anything about it. So let's say if it was Harry and not this other person, you mean to tell me they would just keep kicking the can down the road and not do anything about it? Well, so far that seems to be the case. Well, Ms. Patel should have known he has no power over these decisions. Her meddling was deeply unwise and deeply unfair to the king. Isn't that what he's there for? And will damage Andrew's cause, not help it. And the bottom line remains, why should the public pay £3 million a year to protect a man who rarely leaves his home? Ms. Patel's intervention came after after she discussed Andrew's security woes with his PR guru pal Mark Gallagher. She refused to say who she emailed, but apologized to the king when we revealed Sir Clive's name had been leaked. Ms. Patel, 51, said it was disappointing that this correspondence has been leaked into the public domain, and I apologize to His Majesty for the embarrassment and difficulties of publishing this correspondence has caused. Buckingham Palace and the Home Office were asked for comment, and of course, nothing. Now, right here, this is why this is so interesting, because the members of the royal household on the Raybeck committee who determined royal protection, Clive Alderton, the name that was leaked, King Charles' private secretary, Chris Fitzgerald, Charles' private duty private secretary, and then there's what is that, a senior aide to Prince William, likely his private secretary, Jean Christophe Gray. So those are the people that make the decisions, but they're saying, I can't make a decision. So and then right there in the red, so the men in gray who are employees of the crown and are members of Raybeck, they decide what Harry and his family didn't deserve. They decided that Harry and his family didn't deserve security. And this is like from a totally different thing, but I found that in my receipts. And there you can see the name again, Clive Alderton, who was working for the Queen at the time. Edward Young, you know him. He was working for the Queen. Now he works for the King. And then there's Tom Lane Baker. He worked for Charles and Camilla at that time. So this was people that worked for the Queen before the Queen passed away. And then over there on the right side, it says, but the Telegraph revealed last year that Sir Clive was among the 10 people tasked with making the decision on the level of protective security afforded to members of the royal family and public figures at particular risk. In other words, just like the Secret Service, not only do they protect the first family, the vice president's family, as well as the Speaker of the House and a few other people, but also when there's a state visit or a head of state or, very high profile people, they also protect them. So it sounds like these people are doing virtually the same thing, but they were not appointed by anyone elected to office. It seems like they're there for the sovereign, that the sovereign has appointed these people, that they didn't come from the government. They come from the sovereign, which of course is the government, because the sovereign is the head of state. It's so easy. It's just like the sovereign grant. The same way the money goes in a big circle and the sovereign keeps what they want, it's the same thing with the security issue. And of course, I don't care about Andrew. He's a sick old man. I don't care about him. But this is the same type of okie doke that they were trying to pull on Harry, where everybody is pointing to the next person. Everybody is trying to forward him to the next person, and nobody wants to give a consistent answer. So Chris Fitzgerald, the King's deputy private secretary, also sits on the committee, as does senior aide to the Prince of Wales. Alongside the 3 senior members of the royal household, sit on the chairman of the National Police Chiefs Council Counterterrorism Coordination Committee, the Deputy Assistant Commissioner of Specialist Operations at the Metropolitan Police, and Director General of the Homeland Security Group at the Home Office, and the Deputy, God, that's a long title. Anyway, the Director of Protocol at the Foreign Office and the Head of Royalty VIP, and these people's titles are longer than their whole body. They got nothing but titles, and I'm sure they get paid some really smart money, and yet they don't have an answer. Now, again, these are the 3 that I believe were the bee, the wasp, and the fly. The so-called men in gray suits, who are employees of the Crown and are members of Raybeck, they decided that Harry and his family didn't deserve security. So you send it to the sovereign's aide. The sovereign's aide says no, but you don't get to see how that decision is reached, and it involves your health and well-being. Patently unfair. which is why Harry sued. Charles, King Charles, new slim down monarchy. So that's Camilla, Princess Anne, Sophie Wessex, Kate Middleton, William, and Edward, and of course, Charles, right? That's his slim down monarchy. And this is, I believe, from, I think it was 2019. Yeah, I think that was from 2020. So there you have the Queen and Philip. They received royal protection, as did William and Edward and Sophie. I'm sorry, Edward, Sophie, and Anne. They received protection while on official duty, and we know Sophie's people will protect her. They will literally mow down anything in her way to make sure she's safe, without regard to someone else's safety. And then the other 24/7 protected, of course, is Kate and Charles and Camilla, leaving, of course, the Beatrice and Eugenie, and of course, Andrew, Harry, Meghan, and even Zara Tyndall without protection. And of course, don't forget Peter Phillips. So all of those people there on the bottom right get no protection. But then again, yes, they do, because Andrew still has protection. And what their Pratik Patel was trying to do was to try to inquire why is the government still paying for Andrew's protection? And she was totally, if she can't talk to Clive, if that was one she leaked to, if Charles doesn't want to be bothered with it, it goes right back to that super secret group of people that are making these life and death decisions. There's like no rule in place as to who gets protection. It's whoever they say so, but you don't get a firm idea of who said what and how they came to that agreement. So the numbers denote the 2019 engagements for the best comparison due to the pandemic in 2020. So that was the last time that this particular standard was used. Now, shrouded in secrecy, the memberships of RAVAC has traditionally been shrouded in secrecy. But it says here, the Telegraph revealed last year that Sir Clive was among 10 people with making decisions, tasked with making decisions on the level of protection security afforded to members of the royal family and public figures at particular risk. Chris Fitzgerald, the King's deputy private secretary, also sits on the committee and does a senior aide to Prince of Wales, which of course is William. Alongside the three senior members of the royal household sit the chairman of the national. Oh God, here come those titles again. I'm not going to do those again. But this article here on the right from January of 2022 calls growth for Prince Andrew to imitate the Sussexes by paying for his own security. Well, I'm not going to bother with that too much, because when they say calls are that usually means that it is someone at the newspaper that is making some noise. It's not like the general public cares or knows one way or the other. Security minister refuses to be drawn on question of royal police protection, as Republican campaigners say precedence is already set. What precedence? There is no precedence. It seems to be all they do is kick it down the road until someone is exhausted or people stop asking in the first place. There is no precedent. There is no rule. There's nothing in place except for maybe a vindictive, cruel, mean-spirited brother, and of course a father who is so indecisive that he can't decide which house to sleep in. But that's it. There is no rule. Now, if you can compare that to the Secret Service, and I know it's a different government, but just follow me here. The President of the United States, right? The Vice President of the United States, the President and Vice President's immediate families, former presidents, their spouses, and their minor children under age of 16, foreign heads of state and their spouses visiting the United States, major presidential and vice presidential candidates and their spouses. Well, we learned about that with Robert F. Kennedy, right? Events designated as national special security events by the Secretary, United States Department of Homeland Security, which before it wasn't Homeland Security because it didn't exist, but still the principle is the same. Those are the people that the Secret Service protect. The head of state and his immediate family, which is why I put that photo right there. I would say that all of those people right there is his immediate family as the head of state. And yet there's 4 people, including Lily and Archie, that receive no protection. And so you have Harry, who says, I will pay for my own protection. And then, of course, you get the song and dance about how it's undignified and that the law enforcement is not for sale, which, of course, we all know that Charles has paid for the Met Police on occasion. And also they have been used for another couple of things here and there that actually makes that just one of those talking points that the tabloid media uses to try to, I guess, further humiliate the Sussexes. But that's just it right there. When you consider that not just the United States, but several major industrialized wealthy countries, they provide protection to the immediate family. Now, either Charles is a head of state or he's not. And if he is a head of state, then how come he can't take up the issue and make a decision? How come it's out of his hands? And then the people who works for him, it's out of their hands. Well, then whose hands is it in? And Charles has more than enough money to pay for it himself. He cannot take the money with him. You know, with that primogeniture, there's this idea that the estate must be intact and everything. The duchies, those estates, are like a vacuum, like a Hoover. All it does is pull stuff in, and you don't ever put anything out. It just pulls and pulls and pulls. That is the whole point of it. Whatever becomes of it, I guess it's like a doomsday fund or something like that. But for whatever reason, you know, those duchies were established so that the sovereign and so that the crown prince, or in this case, the Prince of Wales, would have an income so that they wouldn't be out there going in debt from sheer boredom of not having anything to do with their lives from one day to the next. That's the only purpose of it, is so that they don't have to go through the indignity of asking the government for a handout. Because the days of serfdom, when the monarchs own everything and everybody, that is long gone. So that is not consistent with modern times. So they come up with this clever shell game called the Crown Estate, which doesn't make any sense. All it does is move money from one place to the other, and the sovereign and his family gets to keep a large portion of it without explanation. Nice work if you can get it. So there is Andrew, the sick old man, who still is receiving $3 million worth of security every year. $3 million. And that's not even counting securing his home and all the other properties that the royals live in. And I refuse to believe that Beatrice and Eugenie are not shadowed and observed by security personnel. I refuse to believe it. I just don't believe it. That's a disaster in the making if that is the case. And I don't believe it. So Prince Andrew continues to receive taxpayer-funded police protection. Decision was made by the same committee. What? I thought they couldn't do anything. The same committee that denied Prince Harry and his family automatic security when he is in the United Kingdom. And that's all Harry wanted, was to be secure while he's there. Okay, you won't pay for us out of the country. What about when we visit the country? That was purposely decided to try to prevent exactly what's going to happen very soon, and that is Harry coming over there and making the rest of the family look small. Now, right here, Omid Scobie has, just as I wrote in my column earlier today, which this is from also August 2022. Despite being stripped of all royal patronages and military affiliations after paying out millions to a person, Prince Andrew's personal protection remains an annual cost of about 500,000. Well, they have their US dollars to the British taxpayer. It's more than that. It is more than that. I don't know where the 500,000 comes from. Maybe that's because he's not out and about anymore. So that's a possibility. But Prince Andrew continues to receive taxpayer-funded police protection, as it says. And that was as of August this time last year. So, and then there, Andrew does $12 million pound deal to halt those claims, and so on. You got all of this attached to him, right? And yet he's not even a senior working royal, and he is costing the taxpayers around £3 million a year. And then right here, even Christopher Bosie had had enough of it. This person diagnosed Meghan from watching the documentary and suggested Meghan and Harry were responsible for Prince Philip and Queen Elizabeth's death. You guys probably remember her. I just can't, said Christopher Bosie, right? Okay, we've heard that before. Let's not even think about a 99-year-old man and a 96-year-old woman. We will ignore that. And we will also ignore Andrew. If that person was legitimate, of any type of profession, you could not overlook Andrew. The Queen had to pay out £12 million or more for Andrew's sake. How much money did the Sussexes cost the Queen? How much money did the Sussexes shake her down for? And I tell you, what a difference a day make. Take a look over there on the left side. What an attractive couple. Look at Fergie's waist. I mean, you could just take your hands and make your thumbs and your fingers meet on the other side. Well, those days are long gone. They have went from being this very attractive young couple to Fred and Ethel Mertz. I mean, they are just, look at them. Look at the state of them. They didn't just gave up, ain't they? They just don't care. They just don't care. And no, I'm not counting how many chins he has. I'm not doing that. I'm not counting his chins. But they have just given up. They have just, they don't care. Now, if they were in Hollywood, just imagine if they were in Hollywood. If they were in Hollywood, isn't Tom Cruise and the sick old man, aren't they the same age? Aren't they the same age? I think they are. And isn't Fergie and, let me see, Julia Roberts, aren't they the same age? Oh, no, that is Fergie. That is Fergie. I'm sure that that's Fergie. I'm very sure that that's Fergie. They are on the long walk in front of Windsor Castle, I believe. But no, that's Fergie. I don't know why she takes the back seat like that. I think the Royal Protection Officer is sitting in the front seat. I think so. Now, you guys, please don't tell anybody this, but I managed to, I know people, and I managed to get a copy of the Queen's death certificate. Now, if the Queen would not have died in Balmoral, there would not be a death certificate, or at least it wouldn't have been made public. But because she died in Scotland, it was mandated by law that there should be a death certificate. So you can't see it unless you zoom in, like I've done over here on the right side. And the cause of death was ambiguous to some people because it was speculation that she may have had cancer. But I think that she died from old age and a 12 million pound settlement that she had to pay for Andrew, the sick old man. You just can't see it unless magnify it. So I decided to crop it, expand it, and crop it so that you can see clearly that the coroner. Really? Are you serious? Good Lord. What happened to her? 63? That's it? Wow. Okay. It almost looks like he's with his mother. Oh, never mind. But yeah, so there you go. That is likely the aggravating factors that led to Thomas Marco, aka Fat Burrito. I bet he has a taco wagon. I bet he has a taco wagon parked outside his house. Oh man. Okay, so let's get to Donald Trump. As you know, Donald Trump has been arrested in Georgia today. And as I said, somebody's uncle is out there right now selling those free Donald Trump t-shirts. It's always somebody, please come get your uncle. And then, of course, even here in, I think it looks like Baltimore, even in Baltimore, as they say, Baltimore, there's somebody's uncle out there selling those free Donald Trump t-shirts. Now, these are not actually the mugshots. These are a reimagined recreation, fictitious, whatever, mugshot. So the one on the left side, I think that in the coming months, that is going to be Donald Trump. The one on the right side, unless they make him get rid of those ridiculous locks of hair, and that is his hair. He kind of smushes it and he combs it forward and then he hurries up and throw it back. It's an old pompadour, you know. Well, you could hide weapons inside of hair like that. So surely, just imagine how much contraband he could smuggle into the big house if he's allowed to keep his hair like that. So I believe that they're going to make him sort that out before he gets there. And then if you take a look here, this is the actual mugshot. Seriously, this is the actual mugshot. If you have not seen it, this is it. Now, at the time when this mugshot was shown, there were people in a crowded room waiting with bated breath for their opportunity to see Donald John Trump's mugshot. And I am going to share that reaction with you right now. To show it to our audience now, this is just a striking image to Now I see the England flag right there, Is that one of those bookie places or something? I don't know what that place is. But those people have, I mean, look at
to shelter Edward's new offices. Just a striking image, too.
Yeah, do you guys know where that is? Because I don't know. Helen Cole says the Queen had to pay for a bad house deal to a Swedish investor at a cost of $20 million. Oh, you mean that Swiss chalet, right? I remember someone who's never worked a real job in his life, Andrew, the sick old man, somehow afforded himself a Swiss chalet. Now, I don't know how many people have a cabin in the woods or a cottage in the Hamptons, but even rarer is someone who has a Swiss chalet. Andrew, the sick old man, had a Swiss chalet. And just like with his father, Philip, Prince Philip, how in the world did Prince Philip have 30 million pounds when he took his last breath? How does a helicopter pilot from the Navy, how does he afford a French chalet? I mean, a Swiss chalet? I'm still trying to figure that one out. I cannot wrap my brain around that. But thank you so much for that super sticker. Let's see. Okay, that place looks like a sports bar. Let's see. Baron, that looks like a casino, maybe Las Vegas. I don't know. Oh, yes, they were discussing his weight. Trump entered his weight at 215 pounds. This man has to be 2 3/4 at least. And I also heard 218 pounds. Well, somebody said, no, it's actually 281. And he just flipped the number around and hoped people would notice. Also, he wears lifts in his shoes. That's why he's constantly leaning forward, because he's constantly wearing those lifts in his shoes. Yes, there are people that are just sick of him. Do you hear me? Sick! They're sick of him. Now, of course, I don't know about you all, but I'm not likely to put any commentary on his books. What about you? Y'all gonna put some commentary on his books? Because I'm not. Now, if he's waiting for me, he'll get down to 218 or maybe even 210 by Christmas, because I'm not putting no commentary on his books. So if you're listening to me, Donald John Trump, I ain't got no commentary for you. So no commentary. And then, of course, Donald Trump is going to have to adjust to life in prison, because they have a very firm case against him. And next time you see him, he may have those, I'm not even sure what color his hair is, but those locks may be in cornrows next time you see him. So he going to have to get hard or get out. Yeah, because if he don't get hard, and I mean get hard fast, he ain't going to last long in the big house. So I'm just saying, if I was Donald Trump, I would try to walk with a little more swag. You know what I'm saying? I would try to blend in and act a little hip, instead of, like a big whiny powder puff like he is now. So, yeah, he's going to have to straighten up and fly right. And then, of course, as Donald Trump would say, that's all, folks. And of course, they say prison changes people, right? I would not be surprised if Donald Trump does not get in touch with his feminine side because if he's not hard enough when he gets in there, they're going to break him. And next thing you know, he's going to be in there putting on shows, doing burlesque and cabaret for all of the rest of the inmates. So, they say prison changes you. Yeah. He Yeah, he may change a bit. He may not be the same Donald Trump when he comes out as he is going in there. So um, we'll see how it goes, though. And of course, there are memes galore on the interweb. As you can see over there on the left side, they have turned them into villains from the various sci-fi movies. You got Poison Ivy, I think, Dr. Freeze, Half Face. No, that's Poison Ivy. I don't know who she's supposed. Oh, Catwoman. Okay, she's Catwoman, Poison Ivy, the Penguin, and Tut. I forgot about that Tut character. And then I don't know who that is with the cape. I see the Riddler there, and I don't know who the girl is supposed to be. But yeah, that is pretty clever. They have turned them into villains from the Batman franchise. Pretty clever. Oh, and by the way, you guys, there are people that are already marketing T-shirts right now. So if you got any ideas, better hurry up and get on Etsy so that they can sell your creation. And of course, this from yesterday, um, I looked at Rudy Rudolfo, and he reminded me of one of those girls from the 50s with their poodle skirts and those black and white Oxfords. So I took a license with his image and decided to share it. I still cannot believe that that's him, but you know what? I found the original photo, and that is Rudolph Rudolph Giuliani. It looks like somebody took a big hand and just smashed him down, but no, that's him. That is him with that very odd, peculiar build. That is Rudy Giuliani. And with that, you guys, thank you so much. It was just about an hour and 8 minutes. I told I get you guys in and out of here. Please make sure you go to the community tab and look for those videos I made. Good night, Church Nelly. It'll be 4:30 before you know it. You got you only got a few hours of sleep. So get cracking so you can get some rest. All right. And that goes for everybody else. Sorry to keep you up so late again. We got to try to do this earlier tomorrow for my sake. But love you guys. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for enjoying a Royal Sussex. At least I hope you did. And thank you always for your generous contributions. Thank you for the information that you guys share. We do share a lot of information here, and I learned so much from you guys, and it's greatly appreciated. And thank you, moderators. It's not an easy job, and sometimes people tend to try to target the moderators because of their frustrations. But the point of the moderators is to keep this a safe space, especially when I'm not available to do it. And it's something that they do voluntarily. It's not a paid position or anything like that. And so in all of these spaces, make sure you guys are standing up for your moderators, because it's not easy. It's not easy to do that, but sometimes things get through, even under the best of circumstances. But part of us keeping our heads on straight to protect our mental health and well-being, we have to have a safe space, not an echo chamber, but a safe space. It's very important. So thank you all very much. And with that, you guys, I am going to say goodnight to our queens. And our thought of the day is Uh, oh, thank you, Black Queen. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh yeah, I saw the fake mugshot too. There was a fake one that they had earlier, but that one that comes from all of the news wires. Okay, and it looked like they made him look slimmer and more something. But I got a feeling Donald Trump practiced that face all the time. Oh my goodness, were they on there? Oh, okay. Let me see here. Okay, so no word of the day. That's okay. I will find one myself. I got something appropriate. Not to worry. Not to worry. Aha. All right. Ooh. Okay, if someone sticks by your side through the worst of times, they're the ones who deserve to be with you through the best of times. All right, don't forget that. If they stick with you during the worst of times, then those are the people that you need around you through the best of times. Let me see. Oh, this is one we all need. Dear God, today don't let me lose my joy, my peace, my mind, or my focus. In Jesus' name, amen, amen, amen. Do not let anyone take your joy away from you. And I know it's easier said than done. And, we're human beings and we respond to things that we shouldn't. We're triggered by things that we can't avoid. But all I can say is do the best you can. You don't have to get it right every time, but it should be like an exercise to protect your mental health and well being. Never be afraid to try something new. Remember, amateurs built the ark, professionals built the Titanic. Huh? Right? Kind of like if you were thinking about starting your own channel. Never be afraid to try something new. Remember, amateurs built the ark and professionals built the Titanic. Huh, that's something to think about, right? Huh, how did that land on you? And then, oh, one more. Want one more? Okay. The best proof of love is trust. That is the best proof of love is trust. The best proof of love is trust. Let me see. Uh huh. Uh huh. Oh, I like this. If you want to impress me, be loyal behind my back. Oh, and this one sounds like something Church Nelly would have wrote. A good man is hard to find, but okay, never mind. That seems like something Church Nelly would have wrote. Uh, okay, yes, that's better when the bills are paid. Of course it is. I always say one more once I start looking at these. Decide, commit, succeed. decide, commit, succeed. In that order: decide, commit, succeed. Or you could say dream it, believe it, achieve it. Okay, I can't read that one. That's a little dodgy. Let me see. Well, we'll have to do this one next time. If you could sit on this bench and chat for 1 hour with anyone from the past or present, who would it be? Well, we'd be here a whole another hour with that one. So we'll have to do that another time. I'll try to remember to put that on the next one. Okay, one more prayer. Dear God, please lighten the dark in me, strengthen the weak in me, mend what is broken in me, heal what is sick in me. This is a prayer for me, my family, and friends, even those who may hate me. Amen. Well, somebody was going through it when they wrote that, but I feel it. I feel it. Okay, love you guys. See you tomorrow. Cue the Ginger Avenger. And yes, I'll see you. Okay. Why do I feel like I'm forgetting something? I always feel like I forgot something. Probably because I'm not on here for 3 hours today. Let me enjoy this short. Let me enjoy this short live before I think of something. Where? Okay, Ginger Avenger. That's a good one. Live, love, laugh. Good night, Angela Simons. Thank you so much for being here. All righty. Okay, and I'm out.